Well, Art, here we go again. The fans were really ticked off that I never posted. They said even post the poor interview that we did with the internet, and I said I can't do that. I can't do that to the fans.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're going to do this again. I'll tell you what. I'm glad we did because your character has really started to develop on Almost Paradise. I mean, I am just so excited to talk to you now because he has become, a very big anchor in the show.
Yes, I noticed that as we got the episodes one after the other, and I said, "All right, he's going to bloom somewhere. He's going to be less silent, I hope."
Yeah, he was Silent Bob at the beginning, but now the martial arts scenes that you do are just amazing. Obviously,
Thank you.
There is a lot of practice and training that goes into that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You don't just have to know it. You have to know how to dance, Choreography, fight choreography on camera is a little different than on stage. Sometimes you have to slow it down or speed it up at the right moments, and how it's got to look real, and you got to take some hits once in a while. Nothing damaging, of course. The producers would never allow that, but yeah, all taken care of in a very specific way. A fight can look great, like the last episode between Christian and the Collector. I love that fight scene. You almost felt the knives slicing the flesh.
Have you taken martial arts though in your life?
Western boxing is something I'm well versed with. I've sparred a lot, and then depending on the project, sometimes it's required, a little bit of kickboxing or Krav Maga and stuff like that. And I learn it as we go along. It's easy once you're well versed with this stuff. It's easy to transition from one to the other, and with enough practice, you're going to look like an expert.
Yeah, but that's one of the training things that actors go through is you have to take dance, fencing.
Right.
Usually if you're doing Shakespeare and all, because it's all controlling your body.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I remember playing Tybalt in Romeo and Juliet, and they turned me into a swordsman. I mean, I had no interest in swords whatsoever. Fencing and all, it was awkward at first, but when I got it, it was like, wow, I love this sport. So I kept doing it even on my own, and the fights came out really good.
Now, Almost Paradise is becoming a runaway hit out here. I mean, I run into people all the time that are telling me, "Have you seen this?" And of course, But what a tremendous opportunity for an actor to take on not only a role like this, but be able to watch a character develop.
It is. It's. I always say to everybody, Paradise is a gift on so many levels. Not just for the actor, but for me, having met Christian and Samantha and Noni. Noni I've known for a while, but getting to know him better. Dean, Gary, all the directors, we were all on the same plane. We all were like big kids about to achieve something great, and enjoyable and life-affirming. And it's a gift, Tony. It really is on so many levels.
It's a gift for the fans of the show too, because every week it really is a throwback to those great 1970, kind of cop shows that you find out more and more about the people that you are, entranced with, especially the three main characters in the show.
You're absolutely right about that. When I watch it myself, I remember all those cop shows back in the 70s and 80s, and like, wow, I miss those shows, man. And
what is the hardest part about your job?
The hardest part?
Yeah.
The hardest part. That's a tough one to answer. Every role, every project I go into has a certain range of difficulty and ease that I don't know. There are no hard parts, man, because I like to play with it. You know, I just keep playing with it, and it gets easier and becomes part of you. So I don't think I really.
Are you like me? Do you have a problem memorizing lines?
No, no. I don't memorize lines the way people think people should memorize lines. It just echoes in my head, even when I'm asleep, over and over again. And I try to think like the writer. Why would the writer use the word college instead of institution? You know, like that. You know, there's a reason why writers choose specific words. And I know they're trying to write a certain type of language for a specific character. So Ernesto, for me, was pretty easy to grasp because there's a lot of similarities between him and myself. And of course, I'm using myself too, a lot. All actors do that. But I mean, I could relate. I could relate to the lines so easily, you know, because like him, I talk to trees, I talk to dogs, I talk to my motorcycles, and sometimes they answer back, and that's weird. But you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean because life talks to you.
Well, I love the way you said that. You know, life talks to you, and you don't know where it is sometimes, but it's there.
In that kind of vein, do you have moments with the writers or with Dean or the producers and say, look, my character wouldn't say that exactly or do that? Do you have that kind of freedom?
Oh man, we do. Right from the beginning, Dean, Gary, all the directors, Mark, Francis, they all said, feel free to discuss. If you want another shot, another take, it doesn't matter if you've done it a million times. If you're not happy with it, ask for it. This was early in the beginning. And I was like, wow, you know, the collaboration ingredient in this project is just rare, man. That's rare to behold. And that's a gift for an actor, you know, to be able to, let's try it. Don't use it if you don't like it, but I want to try something.
How's the crew to work with? Are they fantastic?
Who?
The actual crew.
Oh yes, yes. I know most of them from past projects, and they were the same as the cast. They felt very energized by the whole experience. You know, learning something new, bettering yourselves in what you do. You know, stepping up to it and still enjoying it with a smile, and that's wow. That's incredibly fun.
You know, because I do know that when you're anywhere on a set, no matter if you're far away or, you know, in your hometown,
Yes.
You're like an island, and everyone surrounding you they either have your back or they. And I've been on sets where they don't have your back at all. So it's got to be a blessing to be around people that really care about everything that they do.
Everything. They all want you to succeed in what you're doing. I want them to succeed in what they're doing, you know, in spades, man. You know, I mean, win it. I mean, we're in the Olympics now. Let's rock this and get the gold, man. You know, why not?
And your co-stars, I imagine working with Kristen is like working with butter.
Working with butter. I like that. Working with Christian is, man, he's inspiring. You know, to me, he's an inspiration. One of my top 5 favorite actors of all time.
Really?
I love his facility for I'm sorry.
No,
I love
that's
his
okay.
facility, you know, for drama, comedy. He can shift from one to the other, and it never looks like he's playing for laughs or for tears. You know, it just looks like an honest portrayal of somebody going through something. Even his PTSD moments look so genuine. I mean, I know people like that. You know, it doesn't look like he's acting. You know, the guy doesn't have any false notes, man. Christian Kane is tops.
And Samantha, I know this is her first, you know, real endeavor, but she's really getting it.
You know, Samantha Rochelle is just, her instincts, amazing. Some people are just born with something. And I believe that when I worked with Samantha. I didn't even know it was her first project until about 2 weeks later. I didn't know much about her. I was consumed by the 2 scripts we were studying and doing our jobs well. And I was engrossed in the training. So there wasn't much time to really dig into who are you, or what have you done, and stuff like that. You know, I don't look them up or anything. It's just the way they are. And Samantha she's gonna go places, man. I mean, instincts galore, takes direction like that. No self-consciousness. She's a beauty in a lot of ways. I'm telling you.
Yeah, in our interview, I mean, you know, the biggest compliment I could give her was she moves like a dancer.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, that's something we all share. Well, I don't move like a dancer, but sort of.
I've seen you
Samantha,
fight. No, you move like a dancer.
you know, Christian is so well versed at that. You can fight different styles too, you know. And he chose a style for Christian Kane's character, Alex Walker, that suits him perfectly. He's a brawler, you know. He's like, "Gah," and then when he gets a piece of your flesh, it's wow, you know. Yeah, Samantha's great in a lot of ways, man. I'm so happy to be working with her.
Just recently, you had one of my favorite people in the world on, Richard Kind.
Richard Kind, the legendary Richard Kind, man.
And I've always heard that anytime he steps on a set, it's a joyful moment.
Yes, it is. His spirit is so warm, and it's a light. You know what I mean? Anywhere he goes, he could be on a golf course, and you sort of gravitate. Where's that light coming from? And it's Richard Kind. And his sense of humor. I mean, he's got these one-liners that sound so serious, but then when you click into it 2 seconds later, it's like that's funny. He's a joyful guy to work with. So talented too. His eyes are very expressive. You know, he doesn't have to say anything.
I've said this about very few actors, but nobody can deliver a line like Richard Kind can. He just makes it his own.
Absolutely. He has a stamp on all his roles, you know, and I've seen him wearing the past. I grew up watching this guy, and I was like, wow, Richard Kind is with us.
Now, Dean Devlin, he's on the set with you guys all the time, and is it a pressure cooker when he's around?
No, he's probably the biggest kid of them all. He's motivated, he's jazzed about the project, you know, and he gets hyper because of the work. I asked him that. I said, you always seem to be up and hyper. What's that about? I mean, it doesn't matter what time of day or night it is either. And he said, it's the work, man. I just really enjoy it. He breaks into songs sometimes on the set during a break, you know, like they're setting up the camera. And he's there, he's going to sing something from, I don't know, some ballad from the South. And he just starts singing. And he's like, what a trip this guy is, man. He's the biggest kid, you know.
You should do a musical episode just to see.
Oh, I would love that.
It was Cop Rock. I mean, we probably could revisit that.
Yeah.
But the success of the show, though, you know, I'm praying to the gods of syndication and all that there's a second season of this. They haven't announced anything, but I think it's going to happen for you guys as soon as all this lifts. It's such a well-received show.
Yes, it's a show with a lot of heart, you know, a lot of good values. It's very you smile after seeing an episode, you know what I mean? It's life affirming.
Yeah.
I like that about it. It's got a lot of soul.
What's it like to sit with the fans during these watch parties you guys have?
Well, you get all sorts of questions, you know. I'm just very happy to begin with that they're there. And I like listening to the others talk. You know what I mean? I learn more about them during the FB Live. You know, we haven't seen each other ever since the lockdown. And just hearing them talk, it's like I'm storing stuff. I thought, I didn't know that about you. I didn't know this about you. So it's really quite an education in a fun way.
Well, when you're not on stage, on set, doing all this, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do to relax?
To relax, I like to tinker with my motorcycles. That's one. During quarantine, I have some elderly friends who live in different cities here in Manila. So I got myself a city pass because you're not allowed to go out of your district. You know, that's how locked down we are. But I was able to avail of a city pass, which allows me to go to those places because those guys that I know are on they're elderly,
Yeah.
you know, and they, you know, a couple of them don't have companions. And I already advised them since March 15. That's when the lockdown happened. I got to see them. And I said, don't even go to the market. You know, that place is filthy. You know, there's wet markets all over the place here. Don't go to the supermarket. Don't carry any heavy loads. I'll get it to you.
Mm.
So on my bike, I got a backpack full of canned goods. I get their prescription medicines and stuff. And
Wow.
I take a trip like 2-3 times a week, you know. Boom, boom. I see these different people. And then I come home.
You're the
And I
type
hope,
of guy, though, that would
yeah.
probably get more out of that than the people that you're delivering to. I mean, what a gift to be able to do that for people.
It makes me feel good. It makes me, I'm not patting myself on the back. I think, you know, a lot of people are doing much bigger things, but it just feels good.
But motorcycles are deep in your heart, huh?
Oh, I grew up riding motorcycles, yes. Yeah. Motorcycle mechanics and stuff like that. That's since I was a kid.
There's a wonderful book I read when I was young called The Art of Zen and Motorcycle Repair.
Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance.
Yeah, there it goes. What an amazing book that is.
Yes, very philosophical, right?
Yeah. When I'm in the Philippines, we'll talk. You and I will sit under a tree and we'll talk.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a book Ernesto would read, I bet.
You should have it on your desk just so people will pick it up and read it because you got it.
I'm going to do that. That's a great tip, Tony. I'm going to do that for second season, man.
Well, Arthur, congratulations on the first season of Almost Paradise. It's a wonderful show. We keep saying that, but people that are going to tune into this interview know that already. But everybody should tell their friends to watch it. It's streaming. It's on the Electric Now app, which is an amazing app. There's lots of stuff on that app.
Right. Exactly. I mean, for the fans who have already gotten the app or gone on Amazon or have it over there in the States, you know, I feel very confident they're hooked and they're going to stay with us till the last episode. For those who are getting curious just now, it's not too late, you know. But if I'm allowed to use the words of Christian Kane, before these guys enter Almost Paradise, you know, they've got to leave their troubles at the door, unless they want some in here. You know what I mean? Because they better buckle up tight. It's a rock and roll rodeo. That's what Christian Kane would say. Those are lines from his song.
I know, yeah. Well, the Caniacs know that.
Yeah, I love his music, man.
I'll tell you what, it's a pleasure to talk to you. It's a pleasure to get to know you a little bit. And again, I really do envy the fact that not only do you live in paradise, but you carry paradise with you wherever you go. You're that type of person.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Tony. I mean, man, you've got some really good lines that I'm writing down. I'm going to use one of these days. And I'm going to give you credit for it.
It works on girls, too, but they're...
All right.
Art, thank you so much for this time.
Tony, thank you. Stay negative, bro.